3, 2, 1, hit it!
Or not. We don't hear it.
When the kids go to sleep.
Boss is beatboxing in here. I can't hear the song. Is it playing?
Yeah, hold on. I'll start over.
Okay. Leave all this in. There's technical difficulties on every
It
show.
happens.
3, 2, 1. We usually have music.
You want me to play the El Guapo song?
Yeah, dude, he's a musician too.
You are.
Not only does he, I was watching some video. I was just, you know how you get on YouTube. Are we? Or let's just go. We're just rolling. We're going. We don't need the song.
Yeah.
We need a new intro song, anyways. I was listening. You know how you get on YouTube and you're just like clicking around. I was watching some video of you singing in your car.
Yeah.
You're like in your car singing the El Guapo song.
Yeah.
For
And,
real?
yeah.
Did you
it's
upload
good.
it yourself? Or did somebody catch
no,
it?
no. I wrote a song. I
you
really
did?
wrote a song, the El Guapo song, and I thought actually it was going to be a hit in Europe, because Europe, that's that I totally stole it from
Yeah.
Right.
and I go, if they like that tune, so what can I do? You know, the undertone is the same.
Right, that same tempo. El
Hear all of it.
Guapo, yeah.
And it became a really great song. We got this guy coming in with the tap dancing, and guitarists we got in. We got a girl
Oh my
coming
goodness.
in, and we like 9 times dubbed her, so it looked like there's 9 girls singing.
Right.
A trumpet player we had coming in, and we
We'll
put
link
it all
to that.
together.
We'll link to that
It's
video.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
All right, welcome to the podcast, WTKGTS, when the kids go to sleep, right here at Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California. We got
Welcome.
Bas Rutten. This is like the badass podcast of
we're super proud.
of children's podcasts. We got Terry Crews in the biggest action movie in the country, and then the dude that can murder you with his bare hands. Do you like being known as that?
Scary.
The guy who could murder you with his bare hands?
That's what I always say. I'm very hard to make angry, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. I was watching some other of your videos where you said that you are hard to pick a fight with, actually. I noticed that just in watching your fights, like with Kim Shanrock, and like after you beat the guys, you don't seem like you're like, yeah. You seem like, okay, like I won. Like, and you seem cool about it. You don't seem like you have that like anger. It's just like your job. You did your job, and now you're a happy guy again.
Anger is bad. I think about the thing I did for Grand Theft Auto. Anger, it's a 4-letter word. I did something really stupid. Did you ever see that?
No, I
By
didn't.
the way, okay, go Grand Theft Auto 4 on YouTube, Bas Rutten, watch what I did. It's hilarious. It's something that I put in there. Anyway, stay away from anger. I always say controlled anger. It's what Bruce Lee used to say.
Right.
And it's really about that. As soon as you get angry and you start overcommitting. I would say instead of punching like this, boom, you punch like that. You know, you load up.
Start to swing for the
Right.
And
fences.
once you load
kinda
up,
like, yeah.
you know, that's
You lose
why.
control.
That's it, and that's why I talk very denigrating. To my opponents, I try to get in their head, like not obvious, but you know, once they start thinking about my things that I say, they go like, does he disrespect me? You know, they start doubting, and I'm trying
them
to make
angry.
them angry. You know,
Yeah.
and hopefully when they get angry, they start overcommitting, and that's when they make the big mistakes.
There you go. Okay, so a little
Wow.
history on Bas Rutten. He has 11 career wins by knockout. He went undefeated in his final 22 fights, which is super impressive. He's known for the liver
Crazy.
shot. You're known for a lot of things. Like your kicks are extremely impressive. I was watching one of those last fights you did with, what was that guy's name? And you just kept chopping him up on his leg. You
Oh,
just
yeah,
kept-
yeah. Valerial, that was my last fight in
Yes.
2006, yeah.
Yes.
What this doesn't say is like from my 28 wins, I have only 3 decisions because the other wins came, I think it's 12 knockouts and 14 submissions.
So I have to ask. So those 22 wins, was it 22?
22,
22
no,
fights.
the 22 is my winning streak. I didn't lose my last 22, so.
So when did you, I noticed that you got a tattoo, and after you got the tattoo, you didn't lose. Is that
Yep,
right?
That's it, yep. So I figured, hey, it works. That was this tattoo. This tattoo means ki or chi in China. It's the same kanji. It's life force. And when I put this on, I never lost again. And I always wanted to be 100 years old. So I put this one and I thought, hey, if this works,
This'll
this
work.
means Shao. It's a long life. That's only a Chinese symbol. It's a very old symbol. Like many Many people now, the youth won't recognize it, but I did one time Tai Chi with an old group in Agora, and I was doing the thing, and she goes, "Oh, show!" She recognized it right away. So it's the
cool.
old people recognize it.
So you want to live for a long time?
100 years.
I want to be 100 years old. Yep, I promised my
Well,
daughters.
you're
You'll be
well
100
on your
years?
way.
Yeah, well.
What are you trying to
not
say?
halfway down
Trying
yet.
to say he's old?
No, you're like so spry. And I
You're
have to
well
say,
on your way to being a
I
100
have
year
to
old.
say, your cheerleading jumps are amazing.
I don't think he wants them to be called cheerleading jobs.
Well, when I saw it,
Colette.
that's the first thing I thought of. Wow.
He could do a good Russian.
It's all
You
optical
really can.
illusion. It looks like I'm doing the splits, but I always made sure the camera was in front of me. So my legs were actually like a little bit like this. It was not totally this.
But they do.
Oh,
they look like
well.
you're straight out, like
Yeah.
you're straight up.
Better
Yeah.
than any jump I ever did. So
Yeah, we should have a jump contest
Yeah,
between
right.
the two of you when we're done here. That's what I'd like to see.
I want to see that. Jump my
Yeah,
off
right.
the table.
Okay, so let's talk about Bas and how you got started on this lifelong of murdering people with your hands. When you started out, I was watching these other videos about how you talked about you were actually bullied as a kid.
Yes, I had a horrible skin disease, and that went together with asthma, like but severe asthma. Like asthma attack would be weak in bed, not able to eat because I couldn't breathe. You know, and if the asthma was there, the eczema was less, and when the asthma was gone, I had a lot of eczema, and it all over my hands and in my neck and my face. So I had to wear gloves, and they had to mummify me. I always say it every night. My mom used to put creams on me, and then the family would send in old sheets, bed sheets that they had. It would rip them, and every night I would rip it off because the itching would drive you nuts, and then she had to do it again. So I spent a lot of time with my mom. I was mama's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I heard that you used to like to get away from the bullies. You would go out in the forest and climb trees, and then you would swing from tree to tree. And then when they would come to bully you, you would go up the trees, and they wouldn't dare to swing from tree to tree to leave you alone.
Yes.
And then you went and saw Enter the Dragon with
That's
Bruce
right.
Lee, and you wanted to become Bruce Lee, and you started taking Taekwondo.
That's it. Yeah, but not right away because my parents they're very conservative, so they wouldn't allow me. And but after 2 years of begging, they finally bent, and they said, "Okay, go." But also 2.5 months later, I was already beating up the brown belts there, so everything went really good. And then I got in a street fight with the biggest bully in town, and I knocked him out with one shot. So, but he broke his nose in the process. So police showed up, and then my parents said, "See, always told you, wrong influence." So they took me off.
When
Taekwondo.
that one shot knocked that bully down, tell me what you felt right then. We were like, "Whoa, it works!"
I didn't even realize he was out. It went so fast. You know, in the old days, that the coolest was this, that they came on the bikes. It was a group of 6 or 8 kids, and they shouting at me again, leper or whatever, you know, because that was what they used to call me. And then, and I said something back. And they go, "Oh," and they start turning around. And I stopped my bike and I put it on the stand. And I was just waiting for them. I think this time I'm not going to run. I'm just going to wait. And then the biggest one started with his bouncing with his chest against my chest. And I go, "Baff," doom. Everybody was,
Whoa.
nobody did anything.
That's the secret, right? It's either the biggest or the one with the biggest mouth. It's like if you take that one out, then you take the steam out of the whole.
It is,
posse.
and that guy is probably the most insecure guy also from the
Right.
whole bunch, because
Right.
that's everybody looks up to the biggest shouter, not knowing because they're kids that barking dogs. You know, they're afraid. You know, I call their bluff really easy. Like when I was a bouncer, pretty much never had to fight. The bigger they are, all the bodybuilders came in, the types, you know, with the tank tops. I would always tell them the same story. I said, "Dude, all the time you spend lifting stupid weights,
Right.
I'm hitting people, hitting backs. You know, that's my job. Chances you're going to win are very, very slim. Maybe a lucky shot, not even that. So please, let's stop this, you know.
Right.
Go get a beer, do something, and nobody would fight, you know, after you do that. And also when they're bigger than you, but you're not intimidated and you go really close to them, because they first try that to you, right?
Right.
They come close, but then I always step a little closer to them, you know, to show. And then I just give him the stare, you know.
Yeah.
And if I really want to mess with him, I give him the stare. And that's like, I'm looking at him like this. See, it's really annoying. I'm looking at your ear.
Yeah, I'm like, why? I'm right here.
It's
Yeah.
like they go like, "This guy is crazy." Like, see, I'm talking to you like this.
He's staring over to the side.
And they go like, "What's going on here?"
Like,
It's
what's
really
in my
funny.
ear?
I do this
Wow.
to my friends also sometimes, just to mess with them.
So how did it all start then? When you realized you got that power from fighting back, is that when you wanted to be a fighter, or did that come later?
No, when I was 21, I left the house, the nest, so to say, and then I started right away, started going back to Taekwondo, because now I could do what I want. And did karate. Taekwondo, I realized there's no punches involved, no low kicks, no knees. Oh, wait a minute, there's karate. Karate, you can punch, and you can low kick, and you can knee. So I kept doing it at the same time, but then I realized, hey, no punches to the face. Okay, what's next? And we got Thai boxing. So then I signed up for Thai boxing, and I kept doing the other sports also. And I think in 6 weeks, 2 months' time, I had my first fight, which I won at the same time, I believe, as my first fight in Japan, 43 seconds, both. The one with the spinning back kick to the body, and in Japan was a knockout with a palm strike and a knee after when he went down. But that was like, whoa, that was a crazy feeling, and it's so weird, I always say that if you go into if I would have knocked him out and they would blindfold me, and they would call 9 other guys in, and they all stand in one line, and they take the blindfold off and they say, okay, who did you fight? You would not know. It's like you're fighting a person, but you have no. It's very weird. And once you get that under control, that's when you start thinking during the fight.
Right.
I didn't do a lot of thinking in my first 14 fights.
You seem so calm now, like you're just collected, and it's not about fighting.
I was a really hyper kid. I think that I just wanted to be able to defend myself. I just want people to know I'm strong, and then they don't mess me. I don't like confrontation.
Right.
I don't like with business confrontation, and it's hard because I'm always trying to avoid it, And sometimes when you try to avoid a fight, for instance, they think you're afraid. And once I start realizing, they suddenly start changing the tune, and I go, whoa, you're thinking I'm afraid now? I said, please don't do that, because this is going to go wrong.
Right.
Because once I get angry or once I say what's on my mind, then people are in shock, because I don't have that filter yet. It's like I try to be nice, and there's that one drop that makes the bucket flow, what they say in Holland, and then I go. And then there's no stopping. And then they freak out. They go like, oh my God, dude. But that happens the last one that happened was that whole story in Sweden. You know?
Was that your last fight? Like the last time you've been in a fight?
Yeah. Because normally it's easy to, deflect. I'm just telling you to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to fight.
Why?
Okay, so let's move on, because you've obviously have a great fighting career. You are a commentator on a lot of these fights. You've been in the UFC. You're friends with Dana White and Joe Rogan, and you've been part of that. But you have some big-time film credentials coming up. I've seen a preview for Drop the Boom, and it's with Kevin James, you guys will know, from King of Queens, and Selma Hayek is in this thing, Henry Winkler. Coming out in October. Is there an official drop date or launch date for that?
The 12th, I believe. The 9th is I got to go to New York for the premiere. Yeah. And the 12th it comes out. And in Holland in December, so it's cool for the family also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen this, you got to go check out the preview for this. The premise is that Kevin James is a high school teacher, right? And he's trying to raise money for the sports program?
For the music program.
A music program. He's a music teacher, is that right?
Henry Winkler is the music teacher, and he tries to say, there's a reason for that, I don't want to give it away, but he wants to help Henry Winkler to get money, to save money. Yeah, because he knows he's all the way in it, and he's older, and yeah, there are some things you'll see in the movie. Okay,
so don't give anything away. So he has to start raising money, so he starts to fight. He starts to go into these, cage matches, because he learns that he can earn some money by going into these fights. Well, Bas Rutten is his buddy in the movie and ends up training him. I think you're going to be like the new Mick, like the new Rocky's trainer.
Yeah, well, we do it with that too. There's Mark Delagrotti is also in there, and it's the positions are switched. I'm a different kind of coach. You'll see.
You'll see? Okay.
But it's cool. It's cool. It's kind of a bromance also, We're going on this trip, and he just wants to fight. And but it's very well done for people to go now. They say, oh, it's the same as Warrior, because that guy was a teacher and he needed money. I go, really? Right. That's it? So if I buy a hamburger in a movie, I can't do it in another movie because it makes the same movie. Right. Trust me, it's a totally different movie.
It's more of a comedy. I think with Kevin James, it's more of a comedy.
It's more of a comedy, but it's like what do they say? An heartfelt. They have a name for it. Inspirational comedy, and it really is, because when you see the movie, it's not like, oh, this is not possible, because they go, oh yes, he's going to fight in the UFC, right? All right, but the way they did this and
Yeah.
the way it comes, everything makes total sense. So it's not like
Because Kevin James is like a big dude, and even in the preview, you can tell he gets in some pretty good shape for this movie.
he's 218 pounds in this movie.
Oh wow, so he's
a
slimmed
beast.
down.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
mean,
it's-
like from what he was, but he's a big dude.
He's a big dude, but since I know him 15 years, I've been training with him from a long time ago, and I told my wife right away when I came home, I said, "Wow, he's like a bear.
Yeah.
He's strong, he's fast, and he's an athlete, so he picks up really fast. I think people, who gonna see him working out on the focus mitts, they're gonna freak out. They're gonna go like, they speed this up or they do this, and it's all real speed. You watch, you'll be amazed. I don't think there's any actor. He doesn't like me saying this, so maybe I shouldn't. Out there, I bet he's better than anybody else. You watch.
Nice. I love Kevin James.
do
Here's
too.
the crazy thing is I saw the preview for the movie and I was like, oh no way, Bas Rutten's going to be in a movie with Kevin James because I love Kevin James. And then after that, I was watching one of your old fights and you won. And then Kevin James, this is back in like 2004. You just said you've been friends with him for 15 years. All of a sudden, Kevin James come running out there. I'm like, what? He knew him all that time? Because I thought you were just in a movie with Kevin James. But
No,
you guys have been
no.
friends for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's why it's with movies. You need somebody. Of course, otherwise I would never had that part. Of course, you need some. Of course, he needed to sell me to Sony, and we did way more than the people know. I did a whole Sony project with him and his brother. We shot 8 webisodes. Dusty Peacock was the name of that. It was comedy also. He was a daredevil who would try anything, but of course would go horribly wrong. And I was one of his sidekicks, one of his guys. I did a bunch of work. I was on Zookeeper, and I did on Mall Cop. I had a little part, and and King of Queens. And then I did this comedy, Kingdom of Ultimate Power. It was a short comedy which won first prize as best comedy in New York at a film festival, and that kind of opened the eyes also, and that's how I believe how we sold it to Sony by showing that movie, and he says no, he can actually do it, and that stuff that he did with his brother, that I did with his brother, and that's how you got in.
Is that what you want to do? Is that what you are hoping is your future? Because I think this movie is going to kill. Like, just from watching the premise and just the cast in it, I really feel like this is going to be a hit movie, and I feel like it's going to open up a lot of doors for you. Is that something that you are interested in? Like, you want to start doing more and more of?
I came to America to be in entertainment. I used to do this in Holland. I did shows, martial arts comedy shows, which we also did for TV. I always been like entertainment, but when I was here 6 weeks, I was already taking acting class at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, So I've been doing it. I'm also one of those guys who doesn't think that, I'm just going to go into in front of a camera. I understand that this is a profession, and the first time you get interviewed, how nervous you are as a fighter.
Right.
We have fighters on and they totally lock up, and you realize, it's a whole different ballgame. Knowing your lines, when I had to do my first monologue on stage, I deliberately cut lines out of it because I want to get out of here, and I had to do it by myself. I was so scared, So then you realize, this is going to take a lot of work, to be calm and relaxed.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So-
Go ahead, babe.
Oh, I was just going to say, so it's one of the other things that you're involved in, which I'm really interested to hear about, is on Cartoon Network, you're doing a fitness thing for children.
Yep.
Now, what's that all about?
Well, they believe it or not, that crazy video on YouTube, ding-a-ding-a-ding, all that stuff, I got 90% of my work, I got that from that video. Somebody made it. I tried to contact the guy. I said, dude, go to my store, take whatever you want. You know, I mean, you gave me so much work. I can't find him. He never reacted. And and Cartoon Network also, they saw that, and they said, do we like the spirit, the way he does this? Do you want to do something for kids? I said, sure, so that's how it started. Went over there to Florida, and we started shooting the first ones, and then we got a connection, and it just kept going.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Nice. Okay, so we got to, you've done all these amazing things. You've had this amazing fighting career. You're involved in UFC, and now you're in these movies and the Cartoon Network. So we were so excited to hear that you're going to come be in our YouTube video. Why did you come be in our YouTube video?
Why did you do that?
John Huertas.
John
right?
Huertas, yeah. John didn't know. We had him on our show, and my whole family is a Castle fan. We watch Castle every Monday night. That's our, when it's on. So I thought I know him for a long time already. So when he came on our show, that was, of course, right away we started talking, and from one thing led to another. And he said, "Hey, I got this crazy thing that I'm going to do. You know, I think it's really cool." I said, "Sign me up. You know, if you think it's cool, it's cool."
That was great because I remember talking because John Huertas, who's on ABC's Castle, he is signed with Maker, and we were talking about a video idea about this wrestling idea. And he's like, "Well, I'm friends with Bas Rutten. Maybe we could get him to be in it." And I was like, "No way! Are you serious?"
Really?
And I've told this story a few times. So like when he said that you were gonna come and be in this video, we were just so pumped up because like this is gonna be perfect because we needed that character. We needed a badass, for lack of a better word, to come in and beat the crap out of all of us. So, you know, the night before that we shot on that ring, I was, you know, ask Colette, I was up till like 1 in the morning watching all of these old fight videos of yours and just like pouring through all this old footage of you just beating up dudes in all these rings. And there was a moment on that day when you first got there and you were getting all warmed up and I was in the ring and Blake was getting the camera ready and everybody's getting in there and you kind of turned around and you probably don't remember this. There's this one moment where you turned around and I was standing there in my place and it was like me and you in this ring and I had just stayed up like the whole night before watching you brutalize all these big dudes and all of a sudden it's like I'm not supposed to be in a ring with this dude because I just watched you like murder all these dudes and I was like it was terrifying to like just see your eyes after seeing all those videos, but then you were such a professional. Little known fact, if you watch the video, Bas choreographed that entire fight scene. That wasn't like something that we had because we didn't know like what he wanted to do. So when we got there, we're literally like, well, what do you think, Bas? And Bas is like, okay, I could do a kick here, a spin here. And you choreographed that whole thing within like 3 minutes. We shot it and then you can see the video.
It's done. I mean, it was the first time I said, and I meant that I was on a shoot that I actually left when they said it was going to be.
Right, we didn't go long.
I know,
Go,
right?
like, we're done?
Yeah,
Really?
We wrapped. Yep.
Wow. You know, never ever experienced that.
That's just film in general. It's always like,
Right.
hey,
No,
you
but
know,
the-
they have like a term, a hard out, which means you have to be done by 2, but
Yep.
or whatever, you know. But a lot of times they just go over because you know a lot of filming, people think it's exciting and stuff. It's a lot of waiting around.
It's a lot of waiting, you know. Hurry up and wait.
Hurry
is
up
what
and
they say.
wait. There you go. That's like the military too. Like
Yeah.
hurry up and wait. So yeah, Bas literally he choreographed that whole thing. We shot it and it turned out great. You know, check it out. 600,000 views later. We were so proud to have Bas Rutten in that video.
So awesome.
All right, we got to wrap up on the first episode right here of the podcast with Bas Rutten. Check him out. You can follow him on Twitter, follow him on Facebook. We'll put all of his links below. Check it out, October 10th?
October 12th.
October 12th. Here, check it out. It's going to be a new movie with Kevin James. What's it called again? Here
Comes the boom.
Boom. Check it out, Bas Rutten. Thank you.